Hello to the second session of Mindset Change series. In today's session, we're going to do personal development. In my own experience, it has shown that personal development is something that has a lot of highs and lows, setbacks, and histories. The journey of personal development is not a race, nor is it a task that can be completed quickly. Rather, it is something that you need to be committed, and it will last a lifetime, because learning is actually a lifetime process. It's not a one-day off issue. It is something that we need to be resilient with, to withstand challenges that we're going to meet and other obstacles that we're going to meet. These obstacles basically they're there to make us much stronger than we would expect. Today we're going to cover the following. One is the definition of what a personal development is. Then we're also going to look at areas of personal development, benefits of personal development, then steps that we need to take to make sure that we develop tangible and useful personal development issues or plans. And then how are we going to personalize that? If we are to personalize it, how do we do it? My name once again is Joseph Chipimpamo, your facilitator. Let's start by defining what a personal development is. It is a process which is basically looks inside us to improve ourselves. Then now that inside us, we're actually looking for self-awareness, self-esteem, as well as the skills that we need to set, our objectives, and what exactly we're going to achieve at the end of the day. One thing, although, that we need to bear in mind is that the personal development process, as I've already said before, is a strong commitment to this philosophy that you are actually looking inside ourselves. And that inside ourselves is actually emanates in what we achieve, in what people see at the end of the day. It is a practice that turning inside or inward in order to accomplish a goal or to obtain a result, particularly in a search of a clarity, purpose, and a passion in one's life. We need to be very clear what is it that we want to achieve in life. We need to be very purposeful. Don't just live a life for sake of living, but let's be purposeful. Therefore, for the sake of maybe this presentation, personal development refers to the much broader aspect of self-improvement and career development. It extends basically throughout our life in areas. It's a cross-cutting issue. It's not on career issues, but also where we are going to live as a social being. Now, after having said that, let's look at areas that we need to look at. If you recall the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, personal growth is actually there, and according to him, it's an order. In order to realize your maximum potential, you must first have all the fundamental needs satisfied. That is accommodation, security. That needs to be satisfied. Once that's satisfied, then you know that I've actually lived my personal maximum. To put it another way, when we reach self-actualization, it indicates that we have attained the maximum possible degrees of self-awareness, self-confidence, and personal development and self-realization on the whole thing. Based on this Maslow's hierarchy of requirements, we need to distinguish between the five. I think there are about five of them, which we really need to look at for us to develop or to have a growth mindset, as some may call it. The first thing is to have mental growth. We need to understand that our mental capacities depends on the way we feed it. The way we feed our body. If we want to look smart, if we want to be healthy, most of the times we look at our diets. Same thing with our minds. Our mind needs to be used to tackle challenges in life. Let's not shelve things. Of course, I know in normal life, we tend to shelve some of the things that that are difficult for us to achieve. But let's try to tackle them. In that way, we'll see that our mental capacities are actually growing in all the spheres. Strong minds that are people who actually have faced challenges and have actually surpassed them to develop. Then also the other point is the social part of it. If we are to develop exponentially, we need to be in social contact. We are not going to develop in isolation. No, because we are a social being, and definitely we need other people to be with us. Therefore, we need to have social ties and meaningful interactions with each other on essential components of development plan. As we are doing a development plan, make sure that the social component is also there. As I've already said, we are human beings and we are social beings. And in order for us to learn and develop, we need connections. You can't develop in isolation. Remember that in unity, there's always strength. Skills like communication, you cannot develop in isolation. You need to have people who you can talk to. Some vital talents, you need other people to assist you to develop them. Then even capacity both to receive and give the feedback. As a social being, definitely you'll be able to receive the negative feedback and the positive feedback. In that way, you'll be able to grow. The other point that we need also to look at is the spiritual part of it. I know once you mention spiritual, you actually look at the religion part of it. However, spiritual things basically is not, although they are used interchangeably, but you find that the spiritual being is actually inside you. The way you regard yourself, the way you interpret issues, the way you make your feelings, your beliefs. There are some beliefs which are inborn, or sometimes can be inherited, yes, but there are some beliefs which are inborn. Those are spiritual, because you're in spiritual part, you're actually talking to yourself, your inner self. So you need to have that reflective mind. We'll see it more when we're going to be doing the triangle of life, where there's a part within the triangle of life called the reflection. The reflection part is actually the spiritual part of it, because you basically talk to your own soul, regardless of religion you are in, or religion you belong to. So the spiritual part is very, very important. And basically what you are doing when you engage spiritually, you are actually committing to gaining a more profound approachment of who you are in relation to the wider world. Basically, that's the relationship between you and the wider world. And it insists in discovering who you are and the things that are important to you. Things that are important to us also is a topic on its own. We'll also go to further as we move along this mindset change series. And the framework of inner self, the spiritual tool of self-improvement that bring a deeper self-awareness. Once you engage in those spiritual reflections, spiritual inquiries about yourself, you are able to discover who exactly you are and how you're going to do it. Then the other issue is the emotional part of it. The emotional, the personal growth and emotional intelligence are frequently the two aspects of the same process. Emotional intelligence can be summed up as a few words and the capacity to one's comprehends own feelings. How do you comprehend them? Are you temperamental? Are you a feeler? Are you passionate with other people? Then the other part, that's actually the emotional intelligence one, how you relate to things that you have learned at the end of the day, the experiences that you have gathered along the way. All those will actually assist you to develop personally. Consider where you are coming from, your journey, whether you are 30 years, 20 years, 15 years. You have experienced a lot, and those actually guide your emotions. Sometimes it's better to understand your emotions more better. Once you have cultivated that emotional development along the way, and if you look back, you'll find that you'll be able to recognize a few things that you're able to do and you're not able to do, your hot points and your weak points. All those things you also need to take in consideration. The other part that maybe you also need to look at is the physical part. Most of the times we are too busy to go to a gym or to do exercises or to rest, even to rest itself. So we need to make sure that a healthy mind is a direct result of a healthy body. If your body is always working, sometimes you go to the hospital and they tell you you are not sick. The only thing you need to do is to rest. Go and rest, and they'll give you medicine that when you take it, you will be sleeping. What they are saying is your body needs to recapitulate itself. It needs to make sure that it's able to recover. We should not work 24/7. Even machines, you go to factories, they will shut down at a certain point just to do repairs. What more about a human being? So we also need to cultivate that spirit of physical body, make sure that your body is healthy enough, and make sure that you are able to improve based on that. Even if it just means resting the whole day, you should be able to regain and move forward along. Yeah. So after having looked at all those things, let's look at the benefits of personal. Why personal development, and why should we be bothered about it? Yeah, development does not start in the vacuum. Development starts with us as an individual. And personal growth is usually associated with a multitude of positive outcomes. If I am developing and there are positive outcomes, very likely I'm also going to have a better picture of myself. And as well, what they said, this process is actually not simple. It's a lifetime journey, and sometimes very discouraging, but it's worthwhile. You agree with me that all people that have attained their master's degree, their PhDs, their professorship, it's not an easy journey. There have been a lot of perseverance, resilience, but they had aimed at a goal. That's why they were able to achieve that, which means you and me were also capable of doing that. But why should we be bothered with personal development? First, it increases self-awareness and self-esteem. Growing as a person demands taking an introspective look of one's feelings, thoughts, routines, and behaviors. It necessitates paying close attention, as well as having an accurate or acute awareness of who we are as a person. We need to know ourselves. Who are we? As you are listening to this, who are you? So you need the personal development actually increases that awareness, because the more you challenges you meet and you're able to surmount them, you should also be able to at the end of the day to be able to say, okay, fine, I think I've achieved this and I should be able to move forward, so I can do this. Then you take the next challenge and you move on. So that's personal development. So knowing all the personal development issue or steps, it actually increases in you the self-awareness. Then the second point is the mental fitness. Once you go through the processes of personal development or mindset change, you find that your mental fitness becomes more resilient to issues. Then you find that you also gain more knowledge and skills. Personal development is not just something that will drop down from heaven. No, you have to build it, and building it is through knowledge. One of my lectures in college, he actually said, for you to develop fully, you need to learn a skill each day or each week. Make sure you learn a skill of some kind. It may not be related to your job now, or you may be related to your day-to-day life, but learning that new skill does not do any harm, but it gives you confidence to stand out, to speak out. Remember what we said in our first episode. People who are able to speak out confidently, it means they have knowledge. They have developed a safe mechanism or self-development mechanism through knowledge and skills that have been learned. Then it also improves personal and professional relationships. We are all talking of networking. For us to develop or for us to make an impact, we need to network, whether an NGO, whether companies, create synergies. But you cannot do that unless you are in the know. So personal development will actually improve your personal or professional relationship with other people. Having said that, now we need to see where exactly, which points should we take in consideration when we're actually developing a personal development plan? Because each person, to where we are today or where we're heading to, we must have a plan. The ideal us, the ideal you. Of course, most people have said you need to work with a coach or a mentor. That's very good. Have a mentor. In fact, all of us, we need to have models, or we have models, but are we making use of those models? People that we admire in our life. So here are the following things that you maybe when you're actually looking into personal development, you need to work on. The first thing is communication and interpersonal skills. You should be able to communicate clearly without ambiguity and and knowing when to say what and why. Don't say things for sake of saying. Say something that people can actually take out of it. You should be able to learn the problem solving skills. Are you able to solve a problem? Do you have the right mindset to solve a problem? Adaptability. We're not working in a vacuum. We're working in an environment full of challenges, full of changes, very dynamic. If we didn't drop it into our ideal us or do ourselves, the best thing we do is to be adaptable. We need just to be adaptable to the situation. Don't be rigid that no, this is supposed to be done this way. Or don't have a fixed mindset, but have a growth mindset where you know things change and you're able to adapt the situation and you move on without losing your goal. Then self-compassion, self-care, and self-reflection. We have already discussed issues of concerning self-care, the physical fitness of yourself, reflection, the spiritual part of it, compassion. You need to believe in yourself. You need to be to make sure that you yourself you are able to take care of yourself. Conflict and conflict resolution. Most of us, me inclusive, when there's a conflict, we tend to run away from it. Now, unless we're able to face the conflicts, remember, defeating a lion is not by running away, by facing it. Now, if we run away from conflicts and conflict resolution, definitely we're not developing as a person. Because each time a problem comes in, we run away. Then be able to navigate through change and uncertainty. When we are changing jobs, there's a lot of uncertainties. When there's a political change, there's a lot of uncertainties. And people have actually lost their goals, their vision, because of these uncertainties that happen in our life. We should know that change is part and parcel of our life. In fact, someone said, it's either you keep pace or be replaced. What he meant was, change is inevitable. And if you cannot change, change will definitely change you. And it will change even your thinking capacity, your goals, and everything that comes with it. Then we need to be future mindfulness. Let's not look at things of today. Let's look in the future. Let's say 5 years from today. What am I going to be? What is it that I want to achieve at the end of the day? Now, once that is done, we should be able to develop personally. Then be organized. That is, most of us were on our desks, our secretaries, I remember, provided the to-do list parts. Do we actually use them? Okay. Do we follow those things that we have said? Because if you don't follow them, it means we're not organized. One of my first employers said this. A crowded desk is a sign of a clouded mind. However, an empty desk shows an empty mind as well. So I asked him, what desk are you doing? Because by that time, my desk was a bit cloudy. Not a bit cloudy, but it was just cloudy. He said, no. You need to get organized. Organize your desk in such a way that you should be able to say, if I want note A, I'll get in this tray. If I want this, I'll get in that file. So we need to learn those organizational skills. Get organized on ourselves. We should be able to say, today I'll do A, B, C, D, and this is the timeline. Then teamwork and collaboration. Don't work in isolation. Personal development is not an isolated item. It's something that we need other people to work with us. So it's good that we should be able to collaborate with people and have teamwork. Otherwise, personal development is a far-fetched dream. Now, what steps should we take to develop ourselves? Yes, we're organized, we have teamwork, we're able to adapt, but what steps should we take? Well, those are broad. And we should know that the aim of having a personal development plan is to see the ideal self. So it's better that we start with a strategy, a personal strategy, in achieving this objective. It is far more probable that you will reach your objective if the plan for your personal growth is organized and well thought of. If you want to build a house, you don't just wake up and start building. It doesn't work that way. You have to plan. First of all, the type of house you want, where you're going to build it, the money that will be required. Then you go and look for land, buy it. If there are issues of title deeds, you do that, then you start building. You don't just wake up. Otherwise, you make a plan that your income may not be able to cater for. Therefore, here are the steps. Identify where areas that you want to improve. It's not all areas that you need to improve. There are some areas that are within you. Maybe just need a mentor to flush them out. But there are some areas where if you have done your own SWOT analysis, you will discover that you need to improve. And these are the following questions that you need to ask yourself. What is it? Or what are my best qualities? Where do I want to play my emphasis? Which aspects are important to me for personal growth? These three questions. What are my best qualities that I can use? Where do I need to put much emphasis? And what is it that is important to me? That's a personal and a SWOT analysis. Those that have done strategy management to understand what a SWOT analysis is. That's the strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. So as a human being, we also have our own strength, we have our own weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats. Unfortunately, most of us, we tend to center on the weak point. And because we center on weak points, we are not able to see our strength, we are not able to see our opportunities. At the end of the day, we're not able to see the threats that will impede our own personal development. And after we've taken all those considered, we should be able to identify areas that we need to improve. The second point, which most people recommend, is find a coach or a mentor. Someone who can assist you to go through it. However, this is someone that you need to respect, one. Two, someone that you can actually work with without fear. At the same time, respecting that person. Because sometimes we get so used to that person that it becomes more of a bad day. And at the end of the day, we don't take his advice anymore. No. Let's find someone who we can respect, trust, and can work with. Then structure your personal goals. Prioritize them. Where do I want to start? I'll start from this. I'll start from that. So I'll end here. And reasons why you are starting that. Because when you are going to a mentor, the first question they're going to ask you is, what is your plan? Then be accountable. We should be able to, at the end of the day, to be accountable to our plan. Yes, we can also be accountable to our mentor, because our mentor or our model would like to see progress in us. So we should be able to be accountable to that person. However, sometimes we may tend to be cosmetic to our model because we have failed to achieve some things. So we need to be accountable to us, which means basically what is when we're telling is integrity plays a role. And integrity is not actually something that is done outside other things. Integrity is supposed to be part and parcel of you. You yourself, you're supposed to be the integrated self. Then, as I've said, be honest, because accountability and honesty goes together. And honesty with integrity is one and the same. So you need to be truthful to yourself regarding your development and advancement. A certain amount of awareness is also required on this. For you to be honest, yourself to be accountable, you need to be there need to be self-awareness. You need to be aware of your strong points, your weak points, your opportunities, and things that will affect your personal development. Then factor in your personal development into mental fitness, the issue of reading, problem solving. Those need to do everything in you. In conclusion, therefore, as we're coming to the end of this presentation, we should know that personal development actually describes what a person is. That's an endeavor. Every single human being is unique. You are unique. And you're not equal to someone else. Now, you need to develop that culture of developing yourself based on your unique selling points, as our friends in marketing call it. The way I speak or the way I present issues may not be the same with my classmate, despite that all of us who have learned the same things. That's the uniqueness I'm talking about here. So we should not bother ourselves in copying what other people are doing. No, be you. Also, personal development depends on our personal experiences. What has happened to us in our lives? Are we learning something from it? Or are we living in regrets? Because sometimes, and that's another threat that most of us, we don't realize, we tend to live in regrets all the time. Yes, history is there for us to learn from, but it's not there for us to stay in. Now, if we are living in regrets, surely you will not be able to see opportunities. Or you'll be facing threats, because you are living in regrets. Also, the issue of personalized assistance on personal development is more important. That's why the issue of, if you go in other circles, they will tell you of the issue of the synergies. Because not all of us, despite that because we are all unique, it means we have different talents. So we should be able to work in diversity while you are achieving your own personal growth. Then we need to challenge ourselves. Let's step out of our comfort zone. Why people resist change is because they always want to live in comfort zones. And because they want to live in comfort zones, they are missing opportunities. They're not able to capitalize on their strength. So let's step out of our comfort zones. Then we should know that this self-actualization is actually a process that starts from inside us and goes out of where we are. So we don't need to be intimidated by whatever we're facing, because we are not working in a vacuum. And we should know that there is no problem which has no answer. Every problem has an answer. It's only up to us to learn new skills, invest in the knowledge, balance our work life. Don't work. Have some fun. Go and visit a nature sanctuary. Go on to the lake. Do something different that will push you away from your routine works. You're actually growing. You are developing personally, which is essential for other things. Therefore, in the end, if we all do this, we should be able to positively develop or contribute to our development of our families, our nation, our community, and everything. Remember that as you are trying to better yourself, you are by extension making your community better as well. Because people will be seeing what you are doing. And because they are seeing what you are doing, they are able to cope, or they're able to copy what you are doing. And in the process, our community is becoming a better community and a better world to live in. Thank you very much for your attention. See you in the next episode. Thank you.